to my fellow March in March challenge friends. How are you doing? Hope you're okay. You are down week 1. We are now a couple of days into week 2, and I thought it would be nice for you to have a brand new stretch video just so you don't get bored with those stretches. So let's make a start. Come onto your mat and just scoot to the back of the mat so that you have plenty of room in front of you. And so let's start to stretch out those aching muscles. So let's start in a lovely child pose, but it's an active child pose. So really reach those hands in front of you. You're on steeple top fingers. Sink your sit bones down towards the floor and really reach through the fingers. And so head is lifted. Yeah. And so hopefully where you're going to feel this is all the way down the side body. And so I spoke last week about how walking isn't just about lower body. Your upper body is engaged also, and is also going to feel the tightness and the tension. So we want to stretch out a little bit of everything. So right now you're getting into side body, a little bit underneath the arms, you might feel that. And of course the spine is also getting a stretch. And then from here, forehead can come to the floor now. Reach your hands off to the right. And you should feel a real big stretch all the way down that left side body. Don't worry if the forehead doesn't come to the floor, it could be lifted. And so suddenly the stretch all the way into your intercostal muscles, so all those muscles that run in between your ribs, you're going to feel that quite strongly here. Breathing in, breathing out. Again, really actively reach away. All these stretches are active. So you're lengthening your left hip crease back. And then walk to center, have a feel second side. So hands walk to the left, maybe forehead down, maybe forehead lifted. And as long as you're getting a juicy stretch into the side body, that's all that matters. For those of you that wish to intensify it, you can always put one hand on top of the other. You know, it makes it a deeper stretch. But otherwise, for these purposes, keeping hands apart is fine. So full breaths in and out. Reaching away. Sit bones reach back, tailbone reaches back, fingers reach forward. Another breath in and out. And walk to center, lift up, and quite simply bring the weight of your hips all the way down, make your way onto the belly. From here, a nice gentle quad stretch. So bend your right knee, take a hold, right foot to right hand. And just give a little bit of press of foot back into the hand, and that's going to really help you to activate that quad if you don't already feel this. For some of you, just taking hand to foot and forehead to floor will be enough. So feeling that stretch into the right quad, that's the right thigh if you're not too sure. And again, option if you wish to lift the leg. But sometimes it's just nice to take a stretch in its simplest form. So breathing in deeply. Lengthen that right kneecap away, away from the head rather than into the floor. You're lengthening your thigh bone. Again, that will just give you a little bit more traction, a little bit more stretch. Take a few more breaths. And then gently release. So remember, you can do all of these stretches for so much longer than I'm demoing for you today. It's probably worth me saying, if for any reason you just can't quite grasp the foot, that's okay, don't panic. Use a belt or a towel or anything you have to hand, and you can create a lasso, and maybe you can catch the foot like so. Yeah, so just listen to your body. Don't judge it if you can't do something. Just find a gentler way of being able to do it. So regardless of whether or not hand is to foot, or if you've got the lasso, a little bit of a lengthen your tailbone down and a push of your pubic bone into the floor. Again, all little tiny intricate things that are going to help you feel the stretch. Relaxing through that shoulder. And of course that shoulder is getting a nice stretch too, just by the very fact it's reaching behind to get the foot. A few more breaths. And then if you wish to have a go at catching 2, you could do, again, just for now, forehead to floor, pubic bone pushes to floor, nice little quad stretch and shoulder stretch. Take one more inhale and exhale. To gently release, hands underneath the shoulders, come to lift up. And then reach arms forwards into seal. So just getting into the back a little bit, melt through the chest. And if this one feels too much, guys, a gentler version of this is Sphinx, where you're onto the forearms, and then it's just a little less into the back. So listen to your body. Again, if it feels kind of ripe and ready and ready to give it a great big old back bend and an abdominal stretch, then do so. This one is more intensive in the shoulders, FYI, so it is a little bit more of a dynamic stretch. Let's take 3 more breaths in whatever version you're in. Inhaling, melt your chest, exhale, deep breath in, melt your lower back, exhale. Final one, deep breath in, melt through the neck, exhale, and then come all the way down, just as a transition, hands underneath shoulders, to come into a real short downward facing dog. So bottom up, and so walk your feet forwards enough that you get your heels to the floor. Lengthen through that neck, shake it out a little bit. So this is quite strong into your calves. If for any reason this does not feel a good place for you to do the stretch, if it's way too much on the shoulders, instead you'll be here, yeah? So that there's a little bit less intensity around the shoulders and you're just pushing one heel back. You're going to get that stretch into the calf, and then of course after a few breaths you switch change. Otherwise, if you're with me, in that short downward dog, again, short enough that heels are to the floor. Lengthen through your spine. Soften through your feet and your ankles. Deep breaths. Neck is nice and long, my friends. Just check that. Just give it a wiggle and a nudge through the head. Not here for too much longer. If you are taking the one-legged version, maybe you switch legs now. A few more breaths. And then slowly, whatever version you were in, let's make our way into the lovely forward fold. Doesn't matter if you touch the floor, guys, just let it go. Maybe cup your elbows. And get that lovely hamstring stretch and spine stretch. So I taught last week about just how important it is just to decompress the lower back, particularly after you've been doing a lot of walking. So let it hang heavy. As always, heavy neck. A little bit of a chin tuck will help you to find that. And there's no right or wrong, you know, do whatever feels good here. You can sway. You can bend into each leg, just let it go. And then release the arms, just let them dangle and slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time. Shoulders come onto the back, and we're going to take a few spine rolls. So feet hip distance apart and narrow hip distance apart rather than wide. Take a deep breath in, lift up, lengthen. Take an exhale, soften your knees. Tuck your chin to your chest and start to round forwards. And note, it really is zombie in style, yeah? So rather than pushing hips back, keep them, if you can, a little bit more directly over the feet. That'll really help you to access the mid-spine stretch, which always feels good. And then roll all the way down, touch the floor or not, and then slowly roll up. Arms to sky, my friends. Deep breath in, lengthen. Soft knees, tip forwards just a little, around that spine. Unlock the knees, they're going to want to lock back. A little bit of softness. Coming back into hamstrings. Let's go one more. Roll up. Lift up, get nice and tall, should feel nice. Exhale, chin to chest. Spine roll down. And then next time you come up, you stay up. Lift the arms though to finish the flow. And then release and quite simply cup your elbows behind you. If that feels too much, cup your wrists. And it doesn't matter what version you're in. All that matters is that these shoulders roll back rather than being here. Yeah, that's what we don't want. So just make it as easy for yourself as possible in order to get the shoulders back. Standing tall in your legs, opening through the chest. And then option to intensify this a little bit. You're coming back into stretching the hamstrings all the way down. Shoulders stay lifted away from the floor. Let it go. Full breath in. Release. Again, breath in. Exhale. To come all the way up again. Take that stacking of spine. And gently release the arms. Good, well done. Next one, final standing one. Get wide with the feet, and you really do need to get wide with the feet for this one. Turn your toes out, knees apart. Coming into a really nice inner thigh and groin stretch. So a good one to do, walkers. And start to side lunge right and left. So no need to go down too deep. It's really easy to over pull in the inner groin and thighs. So this is just, you know, pretty gentle, pretty light. It's not the deepest bend into the knee in the world. And I like to use hands to the inner knee to just help me track that knee towards my second toe rather than collapsing in. Okay, that's gonna hurt the knee. That's a safer alignment. So just really listen to your body, particularly on this one. If it feels good, great, keep doing it. Yeah. If not, come back to any of the other stretches that we've done. And then you also have the opportunity to bring a little bit of an upper body twist in here. So just really nice to ease up the spine. So you've got legs going, you've got spine going. Take a couple more. Let's go one more to each side. To come all the way back to center. Good, well done. And just heel toe feet together, just a safe way to come out of that. And then let's just finish onto the floor. Coming into the lovely 90-90, it's a great external and glute hip stretch. So let's work left leg. So roughly 90-90, that's your angle. And then for now, we're just going to forget about the back leg. Yeah, so you can bring that right knee in, that will keep it a little easier. If you were to take it further back, it's harder. So keep it easy. Flex this foot too, so you've got a little 90 going on there. Press with left leg in front, press through the left hand and bring your torso up and over that shin. And then fold forwards. And get into the delights of the outer glute. And so if I was to roll off to the left, I wouldn't feel the stretch. Yeah, that's why there's that little bit of a push to bring shin and torso in alignment. If you need to make this a little deeper, you could instead start to angle a little bit towards that front foot. So soften, melt, and breathe really deeply. So hips get incredibly tight, your glutes get incredibly tight. So this is such a nice one. And some of you might also feel this a little bit into the inner crease of that back leg. So, you know, this is one of those stretches that you can really enjoy spending a lot of time in if you have the time. If at the end of your walking day, maybe if you're watching TV, come and do this one particularly maybe. A few more breaths. And then release and switch legs. Come and set yourself up second side. That reminder, your hips are two separate pelvic halves. So never expect one half to look or feel the same. Yeah, so treat it as a completely different body part in a way. So find your 90-90. Does it feel more awkward on this side? Is it more open? So 90, roughly 90. Hand to the floor, allow it to help you to lift up, and then again folding forwards and just noticing how you are on this side. So this is a little tighter for me, so I tend to stick very much over the shin rather than leaning towards the foot. That just feels too much. So you need to listen to your own body. You want to be in a stretch that's giving you the stretch, but where you feel you can be in it and breathe rather than to struggle. And again, just, you know, using this back leg as a lever, bringing it forwards to make it a little easier. A few more breaths. And as these videos over the month of March come your way, you know, if there's a stretch that you preferred in video 1, but maybe there's a few out of video 2 that you preferred for a different area of the body, write them down. Create your own flow from some of the things that I'm giving you. Not every pose will work for everybody, so pick your favorites and keep creating your own little stretch sequence. And then let's come up. Well done, guys. Let's take a nice spinal twist to finish. Extend your right leg. Left foot to the outer right. Take a moment, lift up tall, and then twist to the left. So right leg is your bottom leg, left is your top, twist to the left. Little rinse of the spine. And then let's have a feel second side. Right foot to outer left, sit tall, really lift up, particularly through your lower back, so you don't want to be rolling down. Lift, and then twist to the right. Take one more inhale and exhale. 2, come back to center. So you make your way just to any seated position, have a little neck roll. So you've done a side body stretch, you've done a bit of a back stretch, you've done a quad stretch lying down onto the tummy, you've done a calf stretch with that short downward facing dog, yeah. You've done your spine rolls, you've interlaced through the shoulders, you've done side groin, and then you've come into external hips. So we've touched on a little bit of everything. Hope that was useful. Keep stepping, keep getting those steps. And I look forward to seeing you next week for a brand new video. Thanks, guys.